Guys, welcome back to the channel and a very different episode today. You probably know Josh. If not, you may have seen him in some videos in the background. Josh is...
You probably recognize my voice from behind the camera.
Oh yeah, from behind the camera.
On the other side normally.
Josh gets to all the PRS matches and takes photos and films and does all that sort of gear. He's also sort of the driving force behind all the content you see out of Impact Dynamics and a bunch of other sort of groups. Josh is joining me on camera today because one of the things that Josh does is gets around the PRS matches and takes photos, which is one of the things he really enjoys doing.
It is. Yeah, it's awesome fun.
Okay,
Can't complain at all.
And the last one that we went to, which is the APRS Roaring Forties Shootout down in Tasmania. Thanks guys for having us down there. Josh, you had some, not Polaroids, but Polaroid like print.
Like Polaroid prints.
Polaroid looking things. This is the thing, a little printer there that you can print and it comes out, it spits these little Polaroid looking photos out, right? But how many did you have? How many did you have left?
I had 7.
You had 7?
I had 7 left in there.
Okay. And so what was the mission you set yourself for the APRS Roaring 40s Shootout?
It was to try and encapsulate the weekend in 7 photos. So the 7 photos that summed up the weekend for me.
And how many on an average PRS weekend would you take? How many photos would you take completely?
They range between 3,000 to 5,000.
Okay, and how many of those would you then sort of edit down and sort of put out there?
That gets culled down to about 400 to 700, depending on the range and how the weekend went.
And so from all of that, these are your 7, not necessarily best photos.
No, not the best photos, but the photos that were my favorites and the one that I felt like they summed up how the weekend went.
All right, cool. So Josh is going to take us through each of the photos. You guys will see up on screen here. There's a couple also runner-ups, which we'll give a shout out to at the end. And so let's kick off with your first one. Are these in any chronological order or are they just...
Not in any order
random
whatsoever.
order completely. Righto, let's have a look at this one.
First one is Birchie.
Is Birchie.
Birchie gave me a wicked I don't even know what the expression is. I've been trying to like put a caption underneath it and I don't quite have the word to sum that up.
It's the look you make when you want to pretend like you've got this.
Actually, I remember when this photo was taken.
You know you got this.
No, I remember when this photo was taken because I think Birchie had a kind of average first day.
Yes.
Wasn't a good day for Birchie. And so this was on Sunday. The match had sort of concluded a little bit and I think Birchie had a solid Sunday. He'd caught up some points. So it was the look of a man that had a pretty decent day.
Pretty decent day with a massive frown.
I think that would be my caption. Pretty decent day.
Pretty decent. That sums it up. One of the things that Josh certainly has noticed more is taking photos of people.
Yes.
I mean, guns and stuff is definitely cool, but people will make these events. So,
and a shout out to the Tasmania range. It was a very, very nice range to capture on.
Right, there we go.
Next one. I've actually got a title for this one.
Here we go.
This is The Morning Glory.
The Morning Glory.
The Morning Glory.
The Morning Glory. Now that is Guy Jackson shooting his rifle. That is a gorgeous photo.
It is. This is Saturday morning, first morning of shooting. It was cold, but the sun was out. And this was perfectly down the end of the range where the sun was peeking over the hills. And just, from the gun going off in that cold, the mist through the air because of the rifle just lit up perfectly. And hence, The Morning Glory.
The Morning Glory. Now, here's a traditional rifle shot for this one.
It is a traditional rifle shot.
Traditional rifle shot. Do you know whose rifle this is?
This is Joel's. One of my big missions for the weekend, well, obviously it was sponsored by APRS, so I was going around capturing APRS builds.
Okay.
And Joel's rifle was built by the guys down there and just got down close on the range, asked him, and I was like, do you mind if I play with your rifle? All the shooters are generally happy for that, and got it off there. I like it because of the way all the dust and dirt is actually sitting there.
Yeah,
like, it's not just a clean slate.
It looks really raw. But this just encapsulates it's a dirty PRS match. And stuff's been kicked out around and just dirt everywhere and stuff. And it's
I think it's a slightly different one because I know, I guess you'd more say generally a lot of the rifles are in chassis as opposed to stocks.
Sure, yeah.
For the most part, they're all in chassis. So having that more traditional stock in there is a nice touch.
Any caption for this one?
I haven't come up with one for that one yet.
I've got an idea for you. Modern classic.
What? Yeah, that's the one.
Making it up.
This is another favourite.
Here we go.
This is the FU plushie. So I'm super happy. I was kind of happy with this one. So this was Plushie thinking that he'd actually managed to spot me out, which for this one he did, but what he didn't know is I'd snapped about 30 photos of him before this. So he thought he caught me, and I've already had him previously.
You and Plushie have a bit of a love relationship. Some of that. No, I was going to say love-hate, but no. But you often will snag some photos of him that he doesn't know exist.
Yes.
And then he does also like capturing you out because so plus he does own a big long lens like this one, making up for various things, I guess. Same reason you've got one. So he understands what's possible. When you're taking this photo, how far away would you be?
I probably would have been 80 metres to 100 metres away from Plushie at this point.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, just tucked away under the range. We jump into another morning shot, but this one was from Sunday.
Okay, so the other one was Saturday morning.
The other one was Saturday morning. This was Sunday morning. Similar theme. Morning blast.
Morning blast.
Because it's just.
This is Anthony, isn't it?
It is Anthony from New Zealand. New Zealand. So this was in a burst of photos. So there would have been probably 60 photos in this sort of burst that I took, and just this one captured perfectly the muzzle brake working in action. You've got to, blast out the front and just that
blast coming back.
Initial dust, that initial cloud in its movement back.
The smoke,
yes,
the gas.
The gas. That's
the gas venting. And that's interesting because it's actually a bit further back from the muzzle brake. So this is as it's come back.
Yeah.
And you see that, for those guys who are sort of newish to sort of using muzzle brakes or don't quite know why PRS shooters use it, all that is energy. That's all energy that could have gone forward and pushed the gun back, but that is now coming out from there rather than pushing the gun back.
Yeah.
And so this is why a big reason why the guns look like they have very little recoil. I'm going to turf your caption there and suggest, well, you do what you like, but I'm going to suggest something like brakes in action or something along those lines.
Like that.
So that
Didn't think of that.
Because you are showing the physics of what's happening there in a photo that doesn't look like an initial glance. You're like, it's a rad photo, awesome.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot going on, lots explained in that photo that perhaps you wouldn't pick up otherwise.
This was a favourite. So Lucas McKinney, one of the top shooters.
Yes.
He had come up to me on
Saturday morning,
and just I think he just asked a quick question of like, can I have a quick look through the camera? And I was like, go for it, take some photos, just press the trigger and just take as many photos as you want.
Yep.
And he didn't take a lot, but just quickly grab my phone out for this one and just snap the photo because
I did as well.
It is very cool to just something different.
He's got his game face on most of the time, right? He's he's a serious competitor. He's very good at what he does. And just to see that smile when you see him doing something completely different. Yeah,
it's always a challenge. It's one of my little challenges at PRS weekends. If you can get a photo of Lucas smiling, you've done well. You've done very well.
You've done well. Now, before we get on to your last one, have you saved your favourite for your last, or have you not?
I've got a caveat to this last Lucas one.
Okay.
I'm going to jump back to this.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're jumping back.
We are jumping back. Because he snapped a couple of other photos, but the one that he actually got, which will pop up on the screen.
Okay.
This was the focus taken by Lucas. The photo taken by Lucas.
Okay.
This is the shot of Birchie walking along. And he made the comment to me after and he went, wow, when you're looking through the lens, you don't realise that the poles and stuff get in the way because he had followed them walking down.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's good you're having that thing in the foreground gives some depth, really. And that's out of focus, but you see these guys a bit further away.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really nice shot.
It is a nice shot. Yeah, very good. All right, now, before you get on to your last one, because I'm assuming you've saved your best for last, or some big story for the last one. You said you had 3 runners-up?
I did.
Okay, so there's a couple that you had to come down. You only had 7 available to you, and tell me the ones, show us the ones that didn't quite make the cut.
So there was one that didn't make the cut, and it was because I was really tired when I printed these out, and I selected the wrong image. So, and that was the Birchie photo. So I had a photo of Birchie and I'd saved a whole heap and I went through and when I was printing them out, I went, cool. And I've got a photo of Birchie that I wanted to do. And this was the first one I saw and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good photo. Print that.
That's the Birchie photo.
And I printed them out, looked at them all and went, something's missing. And that's this photo here.
This photo, okay.
Instead of behind a rifle or, cool face, it's Birchie filming Scotty on just doing a stage.
Right.
I just thought that encapsulates, I guess, the PRS spirit of a lot of guys that'll just, hey, can you film me? And it's just, everyone's happy to pick up and help out wherever they can.
Cool. And
another one? One more was, again,
this one.
This was the one of Joel's rifle again that
Joel's just clogging up
the show. He's clogging up the show.
Yep.
But I didn't print this one out, and this one would have replaced the other one of Joel's gun, but this wouldn't fit down into square format. So I tried to fit it in there because it's one limitation where you have, all my photos are probably sit around here. That's where they normally sit. And so when it cropped down, it just didn't translate over. So that just sat there.
So saving all of that up, is that all your runner-up?
That's all my runner-ups.
So that will save us for the last photo.
Jump to the last photo.
Josh's favourite photo from the PRS.
And it was of the sponsor, the man himself, Ash Porter.
No, it wasn't. It's
Ash's rifle. Ash's rifle. You know,
it's like, you got a photo of Ash?
I really enjoy Ash's rifle. One, Ash knows how to use it phenomenally well.
Yeah, features in lots of our videos, particularly the shorts.
He does.
Yeah.
And, obviously, being the sponsor of the match as well, there's just that extra little nod of the cap.
Yeah.
And he has that same sort of vibe as Joel's, where it's not breaking the mold, but you've got that nice traditional, that wooden stock.
Well, I was gonna talk about that a little bit further, actually, because Ash's rifle and the foundation, so the foundation stock, and these often get looked at because in passing they look like a timber stock.
Yeah.
And a blue barrel in a row of guns that do not fit that mold.
Yeah.
And now they're not. I'll break it. They're fiberglass.
Yeah.
They're not a timber stock, but they look like it, and they're finished like it, and they even have the textures. If you scroll back far enough in our videos, you actually find where we went to foundation, had a look around. That rifle draws a lot of attention because people assume it's a traditional built rifle, and it's very different to that. But it performs extremely well. So I'm not surprised that is a unique looking thing. We don't have a huge amount of foundations over here. If you go to Oklahoma, you shoot a match in Oklahoma, it's all foundations and back actions just lined up.
And it was a learning curve for me as well, because that was actually the first photo I printed. And so, looked at it, I edited it on the computer and then printed it out and went, oh, it is actually a little bit darker than I thought. Yeah, on the computer it looked fine, but just the learning thing of all right, when you're printing these, you have to edit them a little bit differently.
Very good. Well, one other little thing that we want to make mention of. So Josh, thanks for coming and sharing these. Hopefully you guys found that interesting. I think you're going to try and do this at each of the matches.
I think this will be a matchly thing.
Yeah,
matchly thing.
Josh has been collecting photos from the year, and you guys will be able to actually find, so through our media side of things, you'll be able to actually find, the links will be in the descriptions and up on screen and stuff, where you can go and see all the photos from the year. You can have a look through them. If you want to print some out, if you want to get like a nice big wall print, you can buy the photo and go through the process and print it out and have it sent to you. And there's options there if you want them as social media posts or anything along those lines.
If you've shot a match, there is very high chance that there'll be a photo of you somewhere.
Yeah, so there's 300 to 400 to 500 photos from each of the matches. So go have a little look through. You can see the link below, and give me some feedback, guys. Thanks for checking out a different episode from us. We do like photography and video and that sort of thing as well. So we do like to lean into that a little bit and show you a mixture of going out shooting and also shooting.
Yeah,
we're shooting.
Shooting. Yeah,
shooting.
With some more shooting.
Happy shooting. See ya. Missed. Not very good shooting.
No.
Stick to cameras. Here you go. With that professional outfit now, we've got one of these clapper boards. Is that magnet dirty? You just brush that down for a second.
No,
You nearly did.
I nearly did.
But no.